We're about 1 week away from Lost Records Bloom and Rage Tape 2. I am so excited. I know you guys are as well. And this is likely going to be my very last Lost Records video until Tape 2 comes out and I've had a chance to sit down and play through it. And I cannot wait. I just am desperate to know how this story ends, what's going to happen. My goodness. So in this video, I want to have a final chat about my thoughts, theories, what I think might happen in Tape 2. So grab yourself a snack, get comfy, and enjoy. So Lost Records Bloom and Rage comes in 2 tapes. Tape 1 is Bloom, which is quite self-explanatory to me. The girls have bloomed, they have blossomed, they've grown up together and they've changed, but in such a beautiful way. Watching their friendship grow and develop was just so wonderful for me. They got so close together. A lot of them, weren't really close to anybody else, especially Kat and Swan. They didn't really have any other friends, and I don't think that Nora and Autumn had any other friends either. It was just those two. So they really came together and formed this beautiful, blossoming, blooming friendship, and it was just so magical to see. Tape 2 though is called Rage. Bloom and Rage, which is incidentally the name of their band, but I do think that it means so much more than just their band's name. Bloom and Rage. So Tape 2 I think is going to be a lot harsher, a lot deeper, a lot angrier. We're going to maybe see a lot of things that we're just not ready for, to be honest. Especially when it comes to dealing with Kat and her illness. I just feel that Tape 2 is going to be really heavy on the emotions. Tape 1 certainly feels a lot lighter to me, like the growing and developing of the girls, their friendship, getting stronger, braver, more free, except for the ending. Because my goodness, that was wow. I think we're going to see a lot of moments like that are devastating in Tape 2. Still at the top of my list of what is going to happen in Tape 2 is the mysterious package. I have read so many thoughts and theories and your comments, and thank you all so much for your amazing comments. You guys are brilliant. I still am mostly thinking that inside that package are Swan's lost videotapes. I mean, that is the whole title of the game, Lost Records, and you can take that a couple of different ways. We know that Swan has lost her videotapes from that summer of 1995, but also we know that the girls are struggling to remember exactly. My cat. Also, we know that the girls are struggling to remember what happened in 1995. So that could also be lost records. So I do love that you can take it a couple of different ways, which is really, really cool. I'm absolutely leaning towards that box containing Swan's tapes. Who sent the package though? I could talk about this for an extremely long time. It could be sent by a multitude of people and in a multitude of ways. One of the most out there thoughts that I've actually had is that Kat is somehow stuck back in 1995, maybe trapped in the abyss, and she has sent the package from the abyss to reignite the girls' memories and thoughts and try and get them to remember what happened so that they can get Kat out of the abyss. I know that is so completely out there. Sometimes I think I would like to be a fiction writer because I do come up with so many crazy thoughts and ideas, but that is really exciting to me. I just don't know who sent that package. And then that leads me on to wanting to talk about Gus and Pam. Gus, the bartender, and Pam, his companion. Well, I say companion, but they're close friends. But you know that something's up with them. You know something is sus. They've talked about supernatural events. Pam was fully involved in the Lost Records ARG website that we all have been exploring. They know so much more. They absolutely do. And I think they are going to be, you know, a big player in tape 2. And very recently in the comments of my last Lost Records video, someone mentioned that Gus has burn marks on his face, and that could be related to the huge fire that we saw in the trailers, in the previews. We haven't yet seen that fire in tape 1 at all, so I'm guessing that's coming up in tape 2. So whatever it is, I think it's quite likely that maybe Gus and Pam were even involved with that fire. There's just something about them that is extremely odd, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this, but at the concert in 1995 that the girls performed at the bar, you can actually see Pam in the audience way back then in 1995, and she was loving it. She was smiling. She was having a great time dancing. So I definitely don't see Pam and Gus as bad people. I see them, you know, as good guys who we need to keep an eye on, though, because I feel that they are involved somehow, but I just don't know how. Maybe they might even help the girls in the present with the abyss or trying to remember. They are 100% going to be in tape 2 and a big part of it. Look, I want to talk about something that I think is a little bit controversial. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way that I do about Corey, but want to talk about it. I have conflicting thoughts about him. All throughout tape 1, we've seen Corey as a bully, a bad guy. He's so mean to the girls. He says awful things. He's so controlling. And we've seen his controlling behavior as well towards Dylan. And I don't feel that their relationship is healthy at all. But my thoughts about Corey are conflicted. All throughout tape 1, you know, he was a bully, etc. But I've watched the end scene so many times, playing it, editing it into videos, and there is something so incredibly gentle and loving and caring about the way that Corey interacts with Kat. He scoops her up so carefully, so lovingly, just so full of compassion. And it makes me wonder, are we painting Corey as a bad guy because that's the side that we have been shown? Is he actually a bad guy? All signs point to yes, but that final scene where he's so compassionate and loving and gentle and just so nurturing of Kat, I can't help but wonder, is there more to him? Now, I've made a couple of videos talking about Corey, the guy in the mask. I know that's him. That's him, mark my words. And whether or not he was involved with the big fire that we see. But I'm also wondering if it's a little bit of a red herring. Maybe he's not the bad guy we all think he is. It's just that I can't get over his kindness towards Kat at the end of tape 1. Also, we do know that Kat has accused him of wanting to take over the ranch, and he's flat out denied it, saying, no, that's not what it is, you know that. And, you know, is that true? I'm just so conflicted. I'm so conflicted with my thoughts about Corey. The girls even mentioned him in the present time, saying he was blamed for what happened at the ranch. I'm assuming that means the fire. This I'm really, really curious about. Speaking of the fire, this is so interesting to me. I think this is going to be obviously a huge part of tape 2. You know, tape 2 is going to be huge in general. We have the fire, we have the masked guy, we have the abyss, we have Kat's illness. I don't think I'll be able to handle what goes down in tape 2. But we're going to see the story behind this fire in tape 2. We've seen poor Nora, passing out, trapped somewhere, can't get out of what looks like the cabin in the woods, but I don't actually think it is. The background is slightly different. Maybe that's something on the ranch. Whoever or whatever started this fire, I absolutely think that it has something to do with rescuing the deer on the ranch, more specifically Gertie, the little deer that Kat has formed a connection with. So that is going to be so fascinating, seeing the story behind that and what happens. The abyss is something that is so fascinating, and it can have so many different meanings. The thing that I'm leaning more towards is that the girls in 1995, and maybe even the present to some degree, they're stuck in a time loop. The reason why I think that is because when Swan first entered the cabin and she was looking at the lock, she couldn't find a way out. You heard this thunk behind her, and when you went to check what that was, it was a handwritten note pinned in place by Kat's knife. Now that note was not there when Swan entered the cabin. It was put there during that moment when Swan was inside, hence the noise and the drawing of the camcorder on the note. If that is not some weird time loop, strange sort of happening, I don't know what is. I cannot think of any other explanation of how that note got there, that modern note with Kat's knife referencing Swan's camcorder. It's just super, super weird. And I'm fascinated about this thought that the girls are stuck in 95, stuck in the abyss or something like that, and they want to get help from the girls in the present. They're all just stuck in this endless sort of universe and they can't get out. The scene towards the end of tape 1 where the girls are in the parking lot from 1995, that you have Swan, Nora and Autumn. This was after Kat was taken away by Corey and Dylan. We have the girls, and you can clearly see that the girls of the present look outside and see their past selves. They all see each other. That is just so freaky. It is so fascinating. I think it is some sort of weird time loop situation that they have to get out of. Hence the box, the package, the lost records, finding those tapes, and maybe this will open the floodgates of their memories and they can rescue themselves, their past selves, their present selves. If you look around the bar as well, there's talk about people going missing for years and years and then they return. This is all happening in Velvet Cove. Velvet Cove is a really weird place, isn't it? So all these people go missing and then they return like nothing's ever happened. But that hasn't actually happened to the girls in the present because you can see that they have aged. Interestingly though, we have not seen Swan. I have read that some people have gone in the free cam, like they've modded the game to see Swan in free cam. I have not looked at that picture because I don't want to know, but I would have to also think that the developers knew that people would do that and they would give Swan like her usual face in tape 1 if you do go into free cam in the present. So I think they knew that people would be sneaky and do that. So you're not going to see anything unusual or different if you try and break the game and be cheeky. I love it though. I love how people do stuff like that. But I think that in tape 2, if you do that in free cam, maybe up to the point where things are revealed, then Swan is going to look quite different. And the reason I think she is quite different, because something happens in tape 2 that alters her appearance, whether or not it's a player choice, maybe an accident, maybe she is burned from the fire, or maybe even it's not Swan's face, it could be Kat's face. It's out there, but I just love to pluck weird sort of theories and thoughts out of the air and see where we go. So that's what I think is going to happen with Swan. I think we're going to see a very different version of her in tape 2. Her face is going to be different, her appearance will be different, but she'll still be the same old Swan that we know. Meowses. I love her little catchphrases. I always pick those dorky phrases to say meowses. I love it because it's so her. I think, unfortunately, with Kat, I just have this super bad feeling about her. I don't think she is there in the present. I don't think she's survived. And the reason I say that is because when the girls go to open the package, they were pretty much ready to open it. And it's just Swan, Nora, Autumn there. No Kat. But I'm also beginning to wonder if they can change something, change the past and get Kat back, make her healthy, save her. Maybe that's going to be a choice that we have. Maybe we'll even sacrifice one character to save Kat. Maybe Swan will trade places with Kat in the abyss. Oh, you know, that is cool, because I'm thinking that Kat is definitely connected to the abyss. I just have this funny feeling she's stuck down there. And maybe Swan decides to trade places with her to get Kat free. Just briefly touching on Nora, I want to say that it's so interesting to see how full of life and colourful and just so crazy she was in 1995. And if you compare her to the present time, where she's dressed in all black, monochrome colors, she's very subdued, very serious. Her hair is very straight, very platinum blonde gray. There's no color on her. It's extremely muted and dulled down compared to her teenage self. I know that she has a job in fashion and she's quite a fashionista now. So maybe dressing in monochrome and all black is something that they do in those circles. But it just feels like she has lost a lot of herself. Like she's a shadow of her former self, the Nora that we knew from 1995. So I think she's been through some heavy trauma when it comes to what happened in 95, and maybe this is her way of repressing that. Autumn, I honestly don't know what is going to happen with Autumn, but I love how both in the past and in the present, Autumn is just so grounded. I just get this beautiful vibe from her. She's serious. She takes things quite seriously. She is protective. She wants to get to the bottom of what's happened, even though they made this promise never to talk about it, never to see each other again. She wants to fix things. I feel that she is like the mother of the group, wanting to protect everyone, fix things, make it all better. And I just love Autumn. There's something so calming about her, and she is so different as well from her teenage self in 1995, but we see so very little of them in the present. I'm hoping that tape 2 will be able to spend more time with their present selves, because I'm just so fascinated about that part of their lives as well. Well, look, I honestly can talk about this game 4 hours. It is so fascinating, so interesting to me, and I'm so excited for tape 2. I just wanted to share this little casual chat with you guys, my final thoughts on tape 1 and what we might see in tape 2. I cannot wait to be back making more videos on Lost Records, but with more of a focus on tape 2, putting things that we're going to see happen in tape 2 together with tape 1, coming up with more thoughts and theories and analysis videos. I'm having the best time making these videos, and you guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you all so very much for finding this channel and being here, and I really feel like I have found my place here on YouTube, full of beautiful like-minded people who love the same games that I do, who love to chat about those games. You guys have just made me incredibly happy, and I can't thank you all enough for being here, honestly. I really hope you guys enjoy tape 2 as much as I'm sure we all will. Soak it all in, take your time, and I can't wait. Cannot wait. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll be back soon with more tape 2 videos. Have a wonderful day and see you very soon. Bye.